Hello there, friends and fans of all things Trek and the Hit or Miss Star Trek podcast, and welcome back to another edition of what I'm calling TrekkerMind, the collusion of two huge, well-known franchises, Star Trek and the British game show Mastermind. By now, you'll probably have seen at least one other episode, but just to clarify things in case you haven't, Mastermind is essentially a game of 2 rounds. The first round, contestants will all answer questions on a specialist subject that they picked, or at least in one case here, which I picked for them because they refused to. And then in round 2, contestants will answer general knowledge questions about anything and everything from the Star Trek universe. The round 1, has a time limit of 1.5 minutes. Round 2 is 2 minutes. You can pass as many times as you like, but the passes come into consideration if there's a tie, where the player with the lowest number of passes would end up winning. Other than that, I will go over passes at the end of the rounds. If you get a question wrong, I'll quickly just go over the correct answer for you. And that's all about it. We will introduce each other as we come in. But in the meantime, contestant number 1, if you'd like to step up to virtual big leather chair and introduce yourself, please.
Hello, I'm Rick Everson.
Hello there. And what was your specialist subject for today, Rick?
My specialist subject is Klingons.
Aha, kapla. That's something for just the nerds there, but right. So, I will get talking to you at the start of the second round, just randomly, but for now we're going to dive straight in. So, 1.5 minutes, as many questions as you can on Klingons. Are you ready?
I am.
Right. Your time starts now. Who was the Klingon torchbearer during the battle at the Binary Stars?
Vogue.
Correct. Which Candyman actor plays Worf's brother, Kern?
Tony Todd.
Correct. Who were the 3 Klingons from the original series who returned in the DS9 episode Blood Oath?
Kor, Kang, and Koloth.
That's correct. Which episode was the first ever appearance of the Klingons?
Errand of Mercy.
That's correct. What's the name of the half-Klingon, half-human who became the mother of Worf's child?
Kayla.
That's correct. Who was the Klingon High Chancellor before Gowron?
Kempek.
That's correct. What do Klingons call the species from the Gamma Quadrant who stole the Sword of Kahless from the Ancient Empire?
The Herc.
That is correct. What's the name of the Klingon moon crippled by a massive explosion at the start of Star Trek VI?
Praxis.
Correct. Who was the great lover and later wife of Kahless the Unforgettable?
The Lady Lucara.
That is correct. Wow. Which Klingon leader killed Captain Philippa Georgiou before being immediately killed in retaliation by Michael Burnham?
That. Oh. Absolute blank on his name.
I've started, so I'll finish, so we can give you a couple of seconds if you want to try and get that, or you can pass if you want.
Takuvma.
Wow, correct. Awesome. Rick, that was absolutely outstanding. You scored at the end of that round 10 points with 0 passes. You know your Klingons. So, I'm sure the other 2 contestants are not best pleased with that and a little bit concerned now.
Wish it didn't have a camera.
At least you look good, both of you guys, while we're here. So, awesome. Rick, if you'd like to take your seat back in the virtual communal area. And contestant number 2, if you would like to introduce yourself, please.
Hi, everyone. I'm Captain Janey of Twitter and Trans Slumber Party fame. And awesome. I have been a little bit of a masochist to myself and picked Star Trek First Contact specifically for my specialist subject, which is either the best idea or the worst idea. And as Rick was answering all those questions, we started pitching towards worse. So we're going to see what happens.
Well, you say it masochistic, but at least it's a brilliant movie, or at least in my mind it is.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, absolutely. I made sure to watch it again the other day, just in case, God forbid. And luckily, I was still able to yell half the lines back at the screen before they were said. So thank goodness. My Swiss cheese brain held on to a couple of things, thank God.
I'm like that as well. Dialogue-wise, I think I can just basically act it out like a little play in front of the movie at this point.
Right, exactly. Yeah, these are all lines of dialogue questions. We're fine.
Well, I can't promise that, but we'll see. So, you're familiar with the rules then. You know we've got 1.5 minutes, as many questions as you can. Pass any time you want. So, are you ready?
Ready.
Right. And your time starts now. What class of starship is the Enterprise E?
Sovereign class.
Correct. What colour are the Borg Queen's eyes?
Oh, fuck. Silver.
They're black. To what date in its history does the Enterprise initially travel?
April 4th, 2063.
Correct. Who played the Borg Queen?
Alice Creech.
Correct. What Parks and Recreation star plays the helmsman of the USS Defiant?
Adam Scott.
That's correct. What temperature does Picard refer to as being like a Borg ship?
Pass.
Pass, okay. Which detective does Picard play on the holodeck?
No. Dixon Hill.
Correct. Oh, well, okay. Which admiral contacts Picard at the start of the movie?
Pass.
Pass, okay. What song is being sung as Picard and Lily are in the Dixon Hill program?
I'm hoping the song is called Because It's Only Moonlight.
It's called Moonlight Becomes You. Good attempt, though. What colony does the Admiral report has been destroyed when warning Picard of the imminent Borg threat? I've started, so I'll finish. We can still have your answer if you like on that.
I feel like I memorized all the wrong crap. Pass.
Pass. Okay, fair enough. Janey, at the end of that round, very formidable performance. You scored 5 points with 3 passes. Just to go over them in case anyone's playing along at home or in case it's bugging everyone. The temperature that Picard refers to as being like a Borg ship is 39.1 degrees Celsius, or the temperature in Britain over the last 2 days. The Admiral that contacts Picard at the start of the movie is Admiral Hayes, who Captain Janeway calls a bit of a windbag later in Voyager. And the colony that's destroyed at the start of the movie is Ivor Prime. Any of those ringing a bell, or you would never have got them?
I guess, I watched it in bits and pieces over the last couple of days as the rewatch. And so, of course, the most freshest memories are the back half of the movie. And all the beginning stuff, that was last week and everything. So
this was the mistake, you see.
I could tell you so many other things. I could tell you about that ambitious young officer, all head full of gumption, forgetting that the Enterprise stops at deck 24 because they filmed that scene before they.
That's one of my questions.
Design of the Enterprise. I'm ready for that question.
Can you explain why your Nemesis has 30-something decks, or that is a different argument?
I'm going to say a refit. They had plenty of time.
Fair enough. That makes sense. Well, appreciate you taking part. That anything can still happen. 5 points is still a very good score, and there's a 2-minute general knowledge round. So if you'd like to, we'll stay where you are essentially, and I will call for contestant number 3 to introduce himself. Hello there.
True. I am Steve Brown. Hello.
Stephen Brown, my oldest, dearest friend, but there will be no preferential treatment here. As you can tell by the fact that I picked a category that probably wasn't the best. But so what category did I pick for your specialist subject round then, Steve?
The most deceiving one, the Romulans.
The Romulans, because I think of you as a sneaky little guy, you see. I don't. No, I knew it would have to be something broad, and I know that you would have had Klingons if you could, but Rick had already picked it, so sadly Rick came between you and the blood wine.
He did more better than I would have done in that quiz. God.
That's fair enough. Oh, don't say that before you've had your round. But right, okay, so you know the rules. You've just watched the previous 2 rounds, so you're familiar with what's happening. Yep. Many questions as you can on the Romulans, 1.5 minutes. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Great, time starts now. Engage cloak. What's the name of the Romulan commander who travels back in time in Star Trek 2009?
Pass.
Pass, okay. What's the name of Shinzon's battleship in Star Trek Nemesis?
Oh, Christ. No, pass.
Pass, okay. The Romulan Caitlin Dar appears in which Star Trek movie?
6.
5. In which original series episode does the Enterprise steal a Romulan cloaking device?
Oh, this was in my research. I did look this up. It's like the second episode.
You can pass if you like.
Pass the Enterprise
Okay.
incident.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll give you that because that was correct in the end. Right. What
Good,
prototype Federation starship was taken over by Romulans but recaptured with the help of Voyager's Doctor?
Prometheus.
I was going to say, I know you know that one. Correct.
Good second.
Absolute candor is the policy of which Romulan group?
Pass. I know it, but no.
What was the name of Tasha Yar's half-Romulan daughter? I've started, so I'll finish. We can get your answer if you like there.
Sela.
Sela is correct. Not the greatest performance of the night so far, but you did score 3 points there, Stephen, with 3 passes. So maybe general knowledge will pick it up, though you never know. And again, just to go over those passes, I'm surprised you didn't know the Romulan commander from Star Trek 09 is Nero. I thought that would have been quite an easy one, but never mind. Shinzon's battleship in Nemesis is a ship that I know you love as well. It's the Scimitar.
Yes, it's not, no,
I was literally with you in the cinema watching the movie, dude.
Yeah, you said Star Trek 09. I would have, if you said like the Star Trek reboot, I would have said Nero played by
okay.
on the Narada.
Well, it's just called Star Trek, you know. And I mentioned Caitlin Dar was actually in Star Trek 5, and absolute candor is the policy of the Kawat Melot, as seen in Picard and Discovery. So, New Trek, yay. Right, well, so we always tend to start in the second round with the lowest ranked person first. So, Stephen, stay where you are, because that obviously would be you. You know that the highest score at the moment is currently 10 points, which Rick scored in the first round. So you want to be at least aiming for that. So you're aiming for a score of at least 7 in the general knowledge round. But before we get to that, how are you doing? You feeling all right? You a bit less nervous after the first round?
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, I'm exactly where I want to be. Just stealth in there, and just if everyone else loses their internet connection in a couple of seconds, it'll be great.
As a Romulan agent, you have the power to probably do that, but there we go. But that's fair enough. And I know that, as I said, you dragged your heels a little bit about choosing a specialist subject round, but are you at least a fan of the Romulans, or was that just a real jerk move of me to pick that for you?
It was a good choice.
As long as the questions weren't too hard.
Well, I would have liked what was the first episode that they appeared in, and I've got them.
Well, do you know which first episode they appeared in?
Well, it depends where you class it. If you go off the original series, it's Balance of Terror.
Of course it is, yeah.
But you could
I'm
also
not talking chronologically in universe.
Yeah, you could go off Babel 1, or the more recent, blatantly I've not seen it, Strange New Worlds.
Well, or you could pick Enterprise's season 4 episodes, or Minefield for that matter. This is just nerdy talk. We're just boring the audience now. So before they all completely fall asleep, I'm going to jump into the general knowledge round. As I said, you have a bit longer for this one. You've got 2 minutes, but the questions can be from absolutely anything in the Star Trek universe. So no sort of specialist subject to fall back on, if indeed that was ever going to be the case. Stephen, are you ready for your general knowledge round? Again, you're aiming for at least 7, mind.
If I can get more than 3 right, I'll be happy.
Well, that's your personal goal, so there we go. Okay, your time will start now. According to Brian Fuller, why does the USS Discovery have the registry 1031?
Not a clue.
Okay. What's the name of Worf's son?
Alexander.
Correct. In Voyager's pilot episode, from which base does the Voyager depart on its mission?
D9.
Correct. Which original series character returns in the Next Generation story, Relics?
Scotty.
Correct. What's the name of Data's daughter who appears in The Offspring?
Lol.
Correct. What class of starship is the USS Discovery?
Crossfield?
That's correct. Wow. What race is Kess?
Compin?
Sorry?
The Compin.
Correct. Sorry, your internet was a bit glitchy there. What's the name of Data's pet cat?
Bot.
That's correct. Where are we? Which Trek-related documentary did Denise Crosby work on?
Pass.
Okay. What is Beverly Crusher's maiden name?
Pass.
Okay. Star Trek Voyager was first broadcast on UPN. What does UPN stand for?
Pass.
Okay. What class of ship is the USS Zheng He from Star Trek Picard?
Pass.
Okay. Where was Picard stabbed by a Nausicaan in his youth?
Hard.
Correct.
Check.
What's the name of the mining colony from Star Trek Prodigy?
Pass.
A tribute to a late great Star Trek actor, what class of starship is the USS Nog?
Class. I don't know. Pass.
Okay, pass. Which character, I've started to finish, which character has a battle maneuver named after them that involved warp speeding toward the enemy so as to appear in two places at once?
Right. The Riker maneuver. First one.
No, it's the Picard maneuver.
That's the Picard one.
Yeah,
Oh.
Stargazer. Well, anyway, at the end of that round, Stephen, you managed to score 8 points, which I think surprised you more than anyone. So quite a good performance. So you finished with 11 points, which does put you currently in the lead. But you did have 6 passes. Just to go over those passes again to keep things straight. The Trek-related documentary Denise Cresby worked on was Trekkies. Beverly Crusher's maiden name is Howard, which we find out in that great episode where she has sex with a ghost.
I know.
Voyager was broadcast on UPN, which stands for United Paramount Network. The USS Zheng He is an Inquiry-class ship. The mining colony from Star Trek Prodigy is called Tars Lamora. The USS Nog is an Eisenberg-class ship, named after the actor who played him. And finally, the other thing you didn't get right, which I asked in a previous edition of the show, but didn't give the answer to, which is why I asked it again. Apparently, the USS Discovery has the registry number 1031 because Brian Fuller just really likes Halloween.
Yeah.
Genuinely, that is the reason. So, yeah, now you know.
Well, I'm English, so that's 3110.
Yeah, but that would be too high.
Continuity doesn't matter.
No. Well, you said it. But, right, so, yeah, Stephen, well done. That's you done. You'll just have to hope, I guess, that the 11 could be a winning score. You never know.
I'm in the lead. What can I say? I'm
exactly. And, Janey, if you'd like to, well, I'll say step back up, but you look comfortable where you are. So how are you doing anyway after that, after seeing everyone sort of round and stuff? You feeling a bit more confident?
I feel better because I feel like I could have gotten most of the things he passed, but not all the things he passed. But then again, you watch at the same time. I too have this thing where I'm on the spot, and then those things I know leak out of my ears all of a sudden. So we'll see your question you're going to pick, and I might just blow up on the goddamn runway myself. I have no idea.
I do remember
find out the fun way, kids. We're going to do it.
Jeff Aiken, who took part in episode 2, just said that he was so confident and knew he knew everything. And then he said, as soon as you get put on the spot, even though there's no spotlights or anything, and we're just all kind of at home, as soon as you're actually getting quizzed on these things, it's like, I don't know what happened. I knew this at some point, but it's gone.
Your brain's like, there's no atmosphere for this moment. Let's just make it all pressure field inside.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah, so your special subject obviously was First Contact, so it goes without saying, I assume First Contact is your favorite movie then.
Yeah, that's just always been like a go-to feel-good kind of thing. It's sort of like, I love Voyage Home, but that's also like my Voyage Home in a way.
Okay.
It's just sort of the way I can just kind of throw it on and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Awesome. I've told this story before, but I remember that First Contact was one of the first films I was obsessed with, and I rented it from our local corner shop. So many times, I was taking it away and renting it once a week for 3 months. So eventually the guy who runs the corner shop just told me to take the VHS and just keep it, because by that point I'd paid for it 3 times over.
Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah, it came out at the right time.
I showed my age a little bit there by pointing out it was a VHS tape, of course, but never mind. Right, well, so you know the score. The current leader is Stephen with 11 points. You currently have 5. So 6 points in this round will tie it. 7 points will put you into the lead. You have 2 minutes, and you know it's just general knowledge from anywhere in the Trek world. And yeah, are you ready?
Yeah, ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, your time will start now. In the Kelvin timeline, what's the name of the small alien engineer who's often seen with Scotty?
Pass.
Okay. Who played Edith Keeler in The City on the Edge of Forever?
Pass.
Okay.
I know, blasphemy.
What species utilizes Decora class marauders?
Decora class marauders?
Yeah,
Romulans?
it's the Ferengi. Which
Decora-
character?
I've probably
sorry.
only seen that written. All right, well,
Well, there you go. Which character attempted to kill Kirk and others in order to protect her father from being exposed as Kodos the Executioner?
all these damn original series questions. Pass.
Pass. Okay. In Star Trek Prodigy, the character Zero is a member of which species previously only seen in the original series?
That non-binary one where if you look at him outside of the shell, you go fucking ape shit.
I mean, you are right, but I will need the name of the species.
Fuck. I'll just get it wrong and I'm eating time. Pass.
Okay. Who invented the M5 Multitronic computer?
Zephram Cochrane. I don't fucking
It was Dr. Richard Daystrom.
the Daystrom Institute. Fucking.
Of course. The Grissom, Tsiolkovsky, and Vico are all what class of ship?
One more time?
The Tsiolkovsky, Grissom, and Vico are all what class of ship?
Oberith.
That's correct. Capable of planetary landing, what class of starship was Janeway's USS Voyager? I've started, so I'll finish. We can get your answer if you heard the question there.
Intrepid? You were talking about
It is
Voyager's ship class?
That's exactly right. Yeah, I was asking Voyager's ship class, and it is Intrepid. That's correct. So, unfortunately, JD, at the end of that round, you only scored 2 points with 4 passes. So you won't be winning, unfortunately.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, wow. An attempt was made.
And Steven, you did not come last. We know this now, so...
Feel good.
So yeah, Janey, final score of 7 points is certainly nothing to be sneezed at. People have gotten through with much less, believe me. But those 4 passes, in case anyone knows, the engineer in the Kelvin timeline who hangs out with Scotty is called Keensa. The woman who plays Edith Keeler in The City on the Edge of Forever is Joan Collins, who right now is going to kill you. List, I think. The character who attempted to kill Kirk and others to protect her father of being exposed as Kodos the Executioner was Lenore Caridian. The species that Zero was a member of, and you're going to kick yourself, is Medusans.
The Medusans? Oh, fucking. Oh, God. I hope they patted themselves on the back and went to
I was going to say, it really wasn't subtle. Like, look at it and you'll die. Medusa, that'll do.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. We did it, boys. Medusa. Fuck.
A lot of patting themselves on the back in the right as well.
Yeah, I'm sure they felt really good.
Awesome. Well, thanks again anyway, and we will stick around and see how Rick does maybe. And Rick, you've been sitting patiently, so are you ready to come up to the virtual chair for your final round?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Well, again, you have a score of 10 points. The highest score at the moment is 11, which Steven scored. So obviously 1 point in this round will tie it. 2 points will win the game for you. But before any of that, again, just to have a little bit of a chat, you mentioned your podcast, so I wanted to give you a chance to plug it because it's quite a good podcast, obviously. So this is your
Yes. Yeah, I do the 10 Backwards podcast with my co-hosts, Will, Gemma, and Rick, where we just sort of pick random Star Trek subjects and have a fairly sort of relaxed, irreverent chat about them.
Awesome. And I should have asked, by the way, Captain Janey, did you want to also plug the Trans Slumber Party while you're here?
I'm so glad you asked. Yes. So I host Trans Slumber Party on. You can find us on Twitter at @trans_party. It is a bi-weekly, long as fuck Zoom call for trans and gender non-conforming folks. It's like a casual social space. We start at 3 in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time, which correlates conveniently with about 8 p.m. for y'all over there on the other side of the ocean there, so that we can have a UK portion, and then that moves into my portion when I have my shit together, and I'm my God in charge of things. I know. So
if the requirement is to have your shit together, then I can't watch.
No, I have to do that. All your requirement is to not identify with the gender you were assigned at birth. That's really all you need.
I mean, just to watch, surely I can just watch and enjoy.
Well, it's not like a show. It's a Zoom call.
It's like cool.
It's a social space kind of thing. So,
I understand. That's fair enough.
Yeah, but if you're trans or gender non-conforming, or you have questions, again at trans_party.
Well, yeah, Janey's a great person, and that is a great resource, especially at the moment. So definitely recommend that. And you can catch all three of these guests on various episodes of the podcast, which if you haven't, I recommend, because all three of them are brilliant guests in some of our best episodes. But yeah, sorry again, Rick, to eat into your time. So 10 Backward was your podcast, which again I've listened to several episodes of since you guest starred on ours, and it's always a good time. It's very enjoyable, and I recommend that as well. And again, Rick, you were very competitive all week. You were challenging these other contestants with your knowledge of all things Klingon. You must be a fan of the Klingon species and the Klingon episodes, right?
Oh, I've always looked at Klingons. Yeah, it's one of my favourite races in Trek. As it happened, the past week I've been off work because I had COVID. I've binged a lot of Klingon episodes.
There are worse ways to spend your time other than the fact that you were ill, but that's fair enough. Awesome. And just because I have to ask it, what's your favourite episode or movie dealing with the Klingons then?
Looking for Parmark in all the wrong places.
Ah, wow, what a choice.
I adore that episode so much, and it's a very Klingon episode with a lovely twist.
It's a cautionary tale about how if you're playing soccer, don't go for a headbutt at the same time.
Oh no, that's Let He Use Without Sin.
Oh, my bad. See, I'm the quizmaster. I don't even know which episodes I'm talking about, but yeah, I know which one you mean now. The visit to Risa, and he ends up getting with Dax in that episode. So yes, awesome. Right, well, you know the score. As I say, you've seen the other two rounds, so you know this is going to be a general knowledge round. We have 2 minutes to answer as many questions as you can on anything from the Trek universe. So yeah, are you all ready to go?
I hope so. Yep.
Okay, awesome. Your time will start now. Rick, for what crime was Captain Freeman arrested at the end of Lower Decks Season 2?
Destroying the Pac-led homeworld.
That's correct. What message does the silicon-based Horta leave to signify it is not guilty of murder?
No kill I.
That is exactly correct. What acclaimed film director plays the character of Kovich in Star Trek Discovery?
David Cronenberg.
Correct. In a piece of the action, what card game does Kirk invent to fool his captors?
Fizbin.
That's correct. What was the name of the female Klingon who was Kang's lover in the episode Day of the Dove?
Mara.
That's correct. What does the acronym GNDN stand for on board the Enterprise?
Goes nowhere, does nothing.
That's correct. Wow. What species known to the Borg as species 329 were deemed unworthy of assimilation?
The Kazon?
The Kazon is correct, yeah. In the Mirror Universe, what has replaced the United Federation of Planets?
The Terran Empire.
That is correct. The Sombra class is essentially identical to which other 23rd century ship class?
The Constitution.
That's correct. Somebody's been up to date with Strange New Worlds. Which character was trapped in a transporter buffer for 75 years?
Scotty.
That's correct. In what year was Star Trek the Motion Picture released?
Year of my birth, 1979.
Oh, wow, well, that's a bit cheaty. There you go. Correct. In DS9's past tense, Captain Sisko is forced to take the place of which historical figure?
Gabriel Bell.
That is correct. What was the name of the very first Miranda-class vessel ever seen on screen?
The USS Reliance.
That is correct. What's the name of the transport ship that Cassidy Yates captained?
The Zosa.
That is correct. Didn't get a chance to ask another question. I don't think we really need to be perfectly honest. A dominating performance there, Rick. At the end of that round, still no passes whatsoever and a score of 14 points, which gives you a record-breaking final score of 24 points at the end of that.
I had no doubt the moment you were done with me. So,
Rick, congratulations. You are the third and final person through to the grand final. We'll discuss offline when exactly that's going to happen. I will have to have a new specialist subject from you, though, for if you want to think on that. Before it happens, because we can't use the same one. And I just want to thank all three of you, Steven, Janey, and Rick, for taking part, for being great contestants and great sports. And one last chance. Is there anything else you wanted to plug or say? Or
No, thank you very much.
I think once the other contestants see this as well, if they get a chance to see it before the final, they're going to be a bit nervous. But pretty outstanding. I think that is easily the best performance in any quiz show I've put on. So watching all those Klingon episodes has paid off, and bizarrely we can, I guess, thank COVID for something.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I don't think we gotta hand it to COVID, but
yeah, maybe not. Yeah, awesome. And I will see you in final, Rick, Janey, and Steve. I will hopefully see you again for future podcasts and other endeavors, and have a great rest of your night. Okay.
Absolutely, you too.
Awesome. Take care, guys. Bye-bye for now. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.